When you walk into a hospital, you're supposed to be in a place of healing. But what you don't see is that behind the scenes, it's a constant battleground. The enemy? Billions of invisible pathogens that could turn that safe space into a source of infection. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on the incredible strategic defense system that's working 24/7 to keep every single patient safe.
Make no mistake, this isn't just about making things look tidy. The stakes are as high as they get. This quote really gets right to the heart of it. A slip-up in hygiene isn't just a small problem. It's a total, catastrophic failure of the entire safety net. The whole thing just collapses.
So how does this whole defense system actually work? Well, here's our game plan. We're going to go beyond the mop and bucket to see the new strategy. We'll break down the science of a real clean, see how a simple color coding system prevents disaster, uncover some hidden threats you'd never think of, and finally, see how it all comes together as a massive team effort.
Okay, let's dive right in. The first big thing you gotta understand is that there's been this huge shift in how modern hospitals think about cleaning. We are way beyond the idea of just a mop and a bucket.
Today, keeping a facility hygienic is a top-level strategic mission. Seriously, it's not just a background task for the cleaning crew anymore. It's a major responsibility that the board of directors is watching. And why? Because accreditation bodies, think JCI and NHARI, they demand hard proof, measurable data that a hospital is safe. It's now treated with the same level of seriousness as managing the hospital's finances, because patient survival literally depends on it.
So, if it's not just cleaning, then what is it? Well, it's a science, a very precise science. Let's dig into the anatomy of what it really takes to make a surface truly safe and sterilized in a hospital.
The number one, most fundamental rule is this two-step process. You have to clean before you disinfect. You can't just spray some stuff and wipe it away. Step one is the physical cleaning, using detergent to get rid of all the visible dirt and grime. It's only then, on that totally clean surface, that step two, the disinfectant, can actually do its job and kill the microscopic bad guys. And it has to stay wet for a specific amount of time. They call it minimum contact time for it to actually work.
And the protocols are just unbelievably rigorous. Hospitals have to use government-approved disinfectants and, get this, they actually rotate them every few months to stop germs from getting wise and developing resistance. Everything, and I mean everything, is documented. Batch numbers, expiration dates, you name it. When a patient with a high-risk infection leaves, a special terminal cleaning is done under direct supervision. And to prove it all happened correctly, they use QR-coded checklists for a real-time digital audit trail.
Now here is where a surprisingly simple, low-tech idea provides a massively powerful defense. I mean, think about it. How do you guarantee that a cloth used to clean a toilet doesn't accidentally end up wiping down a patient's bedside table? The answer is a simple visual system.
This quote just drives the point home perfectly. If germs from a bathroom get into a patient room, it's not some random accident. It's not one person's fault. It means the system itself failed. And the whole point of color coding is to make that system failure practically impossible.
So first, you have to map out the battlefield. The hospital is divided into different risk zones. You've got your high-risk red zones, like the ICU and operating rooms, which get the absolute strictest protocols. Then you have lower-risk green zones, like an admin office, which have more standard cleaning routines. This zoning is what decides everything.
And here it is. This is that brilliant system in action. Every single tool, the mops, the buckets, the cloths, is color-coded based on where it can be used and only where it can be used. Red is exclusively for toilets and bathrooms, period. Yellow is for isolation areas where infectious patients are, blue is for general patient areas, and green is for kitchens. It creates this foolproof universal language that everyone understands instantly. The tools from the dirtiest areas just never, ever cross into the clean ones.
But the defense system doesn't stop with surfaces. The threat isn't just on the floors or the counters. Some of the biggest risks actually come from sources that are hiding in plain sight. And each one of these has its own set of super strict rules.
Let's talk about laundry. You might not think about it, but contaminated hospital linens have literally been the source of deadly outbreaks. That's why the rules are so intense. There's a physical wall separating clean from dirty linen. All the cards have to be covered.
The water temperature has to hit at least 60 degrees Celsius to kill everything off. And yep, you guessed it, everything is audited, all the time.
You know, you can tell a lot about a hospital's commitment to safety just by looking at its trash. Waste has to be separated right at the source, the moment it's thrown away. Black bags for general office trash, yellow bags for infectious stuff, red bags for anatomical waste, and of course, needles and scalpels go straight into a puncture-proof container. There is zero room for error.
And then there are pests. You might not even think about this one, but a single cockroach, a single fly, if an auditor sees one during a visit, it can trigger an immediate failure. It could potentially get the facility shut down right then and there. So this means licensed vendors, sealing up every little crack, and keeping detailed logbooks to prove the building is secure.
Okay, so with such a complicated, interlocking system of defenses, you have to wonder, where do things usually go wrong? What are the most common slip-ups that auditors find over and over again?
Well, here are the top 5. An overflowing sharps container, that's a huge, direct danger to the staff. Using the same mop in a regular room and then in an isolation room, that's a textbook cross-contamination failure. Having no documented proof of that critical terminal clean, in an auditor's mind, that means it just never happened. And if the staff can't explain the color code system or the pest logs are out of date, it's a huge red flag that the whole system is breaking down.
So how does a hospital make sure all of this actually gets done, day in and day out? Because a brilliant plan on paper is pretty much useless without accountability. You have to be able to prove that the system is working.
And that responsibility is spread across the entire team. It's a true team sport. You've got the facility manager with the daily oversight, the infection control team validating all the rules, and the housekeeping supervisor on the ground doing audits. But here's the most important part. Look at that last row. Accountability extends to all staff. Every single person is responsible for reporting a hazard or just keeping their area free of clutter so the cleaning teams can do their job properly. This entire system is measured against really clear targets, what they call key performance indicators, or KPIs. The first one is all about proof. Facilities are aiming for 95% or better compliance on their documentation, like those terminal cleaning logs we talked about. The second KPI is about science. They use these things called ATP swabs that can detect microscopic residue that you can't see with your eyes. The goal is for at least 90% of those random tests to come back with a pass, proving a surface isn't just clean-looking, it's truly sterile.
And the third target is all about speed. When a dangerous spill happens and gets reported, a clock starts. The target is to have that spill cleaned up and the area disinfected in under 5 minutes to minimize any risk of exposure. So the next time you walk into a hospital room, I really hope you see more than just some clean floors and a tidy bed. Hopefully you'll now be able to see the invisible, the strategic, the deeply scientific defense system that's working around the clock. From those color-coded mobs to the digital checklists, all of it designed with one single critical purpose: to protect you.